Okay, so bear with me a little minute while I try to run through the plot of Impossible Crimes. This Argentinian supernatural thriller is all about Lorenzo Brandoni, who is a author come detective who is really having a bad time of it. His sister has died from cancer. He's going on a small getaway with his family, his wife and his kid, when he causes a car crash and they die, and he just throws himself into his work. But of course, this is no ordinary detective. He is one of the best that the force has to offer. He's a closer. He always kind of solves his case, and he is given the task of solving this mystery that has happened. There was this man who was tied to a bed in a hospital for his own safety, who no one had access to. There's plenty of CCTV, who suddenly had all these cuts appear in his body, bled out without anybody coming into the room, and he has to try and figure out what the heck happened. Then of course there is a second murder that happens. A woman is cleaning out this building where she's dragged into a cupboard after we see some ghostly images, and she turns up drowned in this dry building, but her lungs are full with kind of salt water from a lake. And it becomes a bit of a mismatch of all different kinds of things. We get a nun who comes into the story who is pretty sure that she's seen visions of the people dying. Not only that, but she thinks that she is behind it all, and she starts to work with Brandoni to try and figure out what the hell is happening. And then we start to get just everything thrown into the story. We get an exorcism, we get ghostly images of this kind of black nun, which is, in fairness, much scarier than the actual nun movie, who is haunting these people and killing them in various fashions. There is lots of deaths and blood. There is a mystery that seems to be scattershot in the way that it is delivered. It is all over the place. The character of Brandoni is one that's hard to empathise with, even though he's had such a bad kind of start with his sister and his wife and child. It's hard to warm to this character who seems almost apathetic to his own situation. He doesn't seem to really care. There is no grief or anything. He's just a workaholic trying to solve this mystery of impossible crimes. But there's a certain style to the direction that's fun. And even though the story does feel disjointed and out of place, it looks remarkably nice. There is some good performances as well as some not so great performances. But the movie has one particular thing that may possibly just create one of the best magic tricks I've seen, by saving a movie that I was unsure whether I liked or not, by having this fantastic ending. It's the kind of ending that repurposes everything you've seen before it, that rationalises some of the parts that didn't make sense before. It's a nice trick to pull off, something you don't see working too well in current movies, you know, where they have this big reveal at the end that just completely changes everything you've seen, in form of flashbacks, showing you things that you definitely did see, but you may not have taken notice of. Some things I caught, but I never put two and two together. And this was probably the thing that left me in a high. When you finish a movie, you're ultimately kind of left by the journey that you had. Sometimes you're left by a particularly ferocious finale that just leaves you in a rousing spirit. Impossible Crimes did that, and when I finished the movie, I had to think about it. I had to weigh things over in my head. Was it a great movie? Did it feel odd because of the reasoning behind everything that happens? Which I don't want to spoil for you guys because it's just not fair. But Impossible Crimes is enjoyable. It feels a little odd. And if you're struggling with it midway through, I'd say get to the end of it, because I think that ending, although maybe a little bit overused or a little bit familiar in certain aspects, I think they pull it off really well. They do that aspect of the movie particularly great. Again, I'm being a little bit obscure with the way I'm talking about this. Impossible Crimes was fun, had some good atmosphere and spooky moments, great cinematography, up and down acting, and ultimately I'd say, yeah, it's worth checking out if you get the chance to see this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on Man vs Film.